So you need the liberals. There wouldn't be high openness, low conscientiousness if there wasn't an itch for it. And you need the conservatives. And sometimes the liberals are right, the borders should be more open because that's their fundamental claim. And sometimes the conservatives are right, the borders between things should be more closed. And because they're both right some of the time, and because the environment keeps snaking around, you have to have dialogue between the two sources constantly, so that the polity can orient itself as the snake of the environment moves. And that's why you need free speech. And so the left and the right get along perfectly well together as long as they can talk to each other. But as soon as they can't talk to each other, then the alternative, there's only two alternatives to negotiation. Simple as that. One is slavery, the other is tyranny.
Do you think you'd be less angry if you went on Twitter? That's something I think quite a lot. I would come into contact with less things that annoyed me on a daily basis.
Oh, I think there's no doubt about that. Yeah. I think that's definitely the case. And I've talked to other people who've pulled back from Twitter and experienced the same thing. I don't know what it is exactly, but there's something about Twitter that seems to really heighten the desire of people to be provocative.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Be indomitable as you move forward. And you want a challenge because all of those forces are exactly the thing that is there for the challenge. And so it becomes a matter of, well, it's a conversion of something that can be very dark into something that's a prerequisite for light.
And I believe firmly that Ellen/Elliot, or whatever the hell her name or his name is, bears moral culpability for that. And finally, with regard to the final phrase, criminal physician, I must say that I've had some post-coital, so to speak, regrets about that phrase. It is clearly the case that the surgical operation performed by the butchers who butchered Elliot/Ellen was legal. So, was it criminal or not? Were the operations undertaken by the fascist physicians who carried out the Nazi medical experiments legal? And when I'm lecturing, I'm thinking, I'm not trying to tell you what I know for sure to be the case, because there's lots of things I don't know for sure to be the case. I'm trying to make sense out of this, and I have been doing this for a long time. Now, you may know, you may not, that I'm an admirer of Nietzsche. Nietzsche was a devastating critic of, I would say, dogmatic Christianity as it was instantiated in institutions.
Pandemic, so-called pandemic, that was unparalleled. And the consequence of that was that we injected billions of people with an experimental, and it wasn't a bloody vaccine. No, it wasn't. No, it isn't.
I think I certainly agree with you. I think that's something that we agree on there. I think people are rarely at their best on Twitter.
No, and I pulled myself away from it quite a lot in the last month, mostly to see why. I kind of kept an eye on Twitter, all the social media networks for the last few years, partly to see, well, I'm trying to monitor what's happening around me, I suppose, is probably the right way of thinking about it, and to see if I'm making mistakes and how they might be rectified. But I don't think Twitter's been good for me.